Okay, we'll get started. Welcome to Monday's Yoga Vida session, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you have all had a lovely weekend. Yeah, it's not the nicest of days here in grey, rainy Leeds, but not to worry, we shall warm ourselves up soon enough. So we are going to start lying down today. So if you just want to make your way, Oh, hi, Rachel. Good. If you just want to make your way lying down on your backs, I think most of you are already there, but just lying down, feet wide, and then knees just kind of resting against each other. And then just making sure your spine is nice and long. So we can maybe bring our hands behind our neck and just kind of stretch. You can give yourself a little neck massage. Just stretch out the back of the neck, lifting up your head and then kind of placing your head back down on the mat. So nice long back of neck. And then again, lifting up your hips maybe, and then just slowly lowering them down, just really trying to lengthen out your spine. So you are fully supported on the mat. And then we can bring our hands just to our belly or out by our sides, completely your choice, whatever is more comfortable for you. And just having a few moments here, just settling in, settling down. And I'll just give a little intro to the class today. We're going to be working towards our standing figure 4 balance today, which is also known as Ekapada Utkatasana, I found out today, but we shall go with the standing figure 4. So most of you will know the figure 4 stretch that we do when we're lying down, and we're just going to do that standing up. So you may well have tried it before, you may not have done. But yeah, it's a balance, so we'll be obviously strengthening up our legs, concentrating on kind of our leg strength and grounding down through our feet. It's also a hip opener, so we'll be doing a bit of work opening up the hips. So that's our focus today, but as always, we shall be doing a bit of an all-over body workout, finding space, finding strength, using our breath, calming the mind, and then working towards our figure 4. So let's start taking some nice deep inhales and nice long exhales. Really filling our torso, filling our body with air, and then slowly letting it all out. Maybe taking 3 or 4 rounds of really deep breaths, really full inhales, maybe the biggest inhale you've taken all day, and then the longest exhale, squeezing all the air out of your lungs. And with each exhale, feeling your body be heavy, relaxed. Slowly letting go. And then with your inhales, feeling the energy, the life, the space, the strength. And then just letting your breathing return to normal. But still being very mindful of your breath. So trying to keep your breath even, slow, steady. And kind of keep this going throughout the yoga practice. Really keeping your mind on your breathing is a great way to stay present, to stay focused. And we often find ourselves holding our breath while in yoga poses, or doing any form of exercise actually. We often hold our breath. So if you find yourself holding your breath, that's fine. Just relax and start breathing again. Just noticing how your body is feeling. Being mindful of any niggles, any tensions, any aches, any pains. Listening to your body. Okay. When we are ready, we're just going to squeeze the knees into the chest. So making yourselves into a little ball. Starting to work into the hips. And then we're going to come straight into some core work. So firing up the core, ready for our nice, strong, balanced, strong legs. So bringing our legs into a tabletop position. So we want knees directly over hips, and then kind of feet pointing away from us. So straight away, you should feel this around your core area. So we want to push our lower back down towards the mat, kind of pull our belly button back towards our spine, and you can feel that strength in the core there. So already firing up the abs. Then we're going to straighten up the right leg up towards the ceiling. Don't worry if the leg doesn't straighten. And then we're going to lower the right leg slowly down towards the mat, straightening as we go, and then hovering it above the mat, and then bringing it back to tabletop. Same on the left side, reaching the left foot up towards the ceiling, then slowly lowering down, straightening as we go, hovering the leg above the mat, and then back to tabletop. We're going to keep doing this, alternating each leg, right leg down, back to tabletop, then left leg. If it's too much to keep this, the other legs up in the air, then we can always bring it down to the mat. That's absolutely fine. So keep alternating with your legs, trying to take it nice and slowly, keeping your hips even on the mat. You can even bring your hands to your hip bones, actually. And really feel that core working, engaging, pushing the lower back down. Straight away, firing up some heat in the body. Okay, do one more each side. Nice and slowly, really extending the legs out. And then we'll hug the knees into the chest. Ooh. Have a little rock and roll from side to side. Relaxing down the core. And then we'll just take your right knee and right hand, left knee and left hand, and let's just take some circles with the knees. You can do one leg then the other. We can do both legs at the same time. Circles in opposite directions, the same direction. Just have a little bit of a play around here. Try and make the circles nice and big. So we really want to get into the hip joints here. Really loosening up all around the hip. Okay, bringing your knees back to center. We'll bring our left foot down to the mat, so keeping the knee bent. So left foot nice and close towards your sit bones, and then let's cross the right ankle over our left foot. So we're coming into our figure 4 position here. So this is our figure 4 stretch, obviously lying down. We'll be recreating this when we're standing up towards the end of the session. So first of all, we just want to place our right hand on our right inner thigh and just gently push out with that hand. So we're opening up that right hip. Pull the right toes back towards the knee so that right foot is active. And hopefully you should feel just a gentle kind of opening in that right hip crease. Then we're slowly going to lift the left leg up off the mat. Still kind of with the intention of pushing that right knee away from you. So even though we're going to move the hand, we're going to link the hands underneath our left thigh. Still feel there's something kind of pushing that right knee away from you. Activate both of your feet, so toes pulling back towards the knee. And then depending on where you are, we can come deeper into the stretch by pulling that left leg towards us. We can even leave that left leg down on the mat if that's a bit too much, that's absolutely fine. So just finding your stretch. We're all very different in our hips, so it's all about finding what works for you. Okay, bringing the left foot down towards the mat, leaving the right foot where it is. We're literally just going to rock over our left hip and bring that right foot down beside us. we just want to feel a bit of an opening on that right hip, trying to keep our shoulders level on the ground. So we're in a little bit of a twist here. Just pausing here for a couple of breaths. And then rocking back up. Bringing the right foot down to the mat, and time for the left side. So bringing the left ankle to cross over the right thigh. First of all, just opening up the hips, just taking your left hand on that left leg and just guiding it away from you. Flexing those left toes, so active left foot. And then let's bring that right leg up towards us. If we can find the clasp, then bringing the hands underneath that right thigh. But remember to keep pushing away with that left knee. Both feet active, so toes pulling back towards the knees. And then finding your stretch. It might feel very different on each side, so just have a bit of a play around. And taking some nice slow deep breathing while we're here. Okay, lowering the right foot down to the mat. Let's just do our little rocking twist. So rocking over our right hip, down to the side, maybe bringing that left foot down to the floor beside you. Trying to keep our shoulders down here. So we're just kind of feeling a bit of a stretch in that outer left hip, maybe through your side body. Okay, bringing ourselves back up to center, bringing both feet flat to the mat, knees bent in. We'll just take a couple of bridges just to start getting the glutes fired up. So bringing our feet hip distance apart, knees same distance, so hip distance apart. And let's lift up our hips, peel up our spine, all the way up to our shoulders. We'll pause here for a couple of breaths. So let's be strong through the feet, lift up the hips nice and high, fire up the glutes, the hamstrings. And then slowly lower down, nice and slowly rolling back down through the spine. Let's take one more. So let's peel the hips up off the floor, up to the shoulders, hips nice and high, building up that heat again. Strong through the feet, strong through the legs. Can we lift a little higher? And then slowly all the way back down. Good. Squeezing the knees back into the chest. Having your little rock and roll around. And then we will make our way up to seated, so we can rock and roll our way up, or come onto our side and just push ourselves up with our hands. When we're there, coming into our cross-legged position, finding a nice tall spine first of all, and maybe bringing our feet a little further away from us than we would do usually. So having a bit of a gap kind of between your legs, and again activating your feet. So let's try and pull our toes back towards our knees. It's a bit tricky in this position, but toes pointing forwards at least. Coming into our forward fold, so hinging from the hips, leading with the chest, and again have that kind of feel like something's underneath your knees and you're kind of pushing down with your knees as you come forward, and then that activates all of your muscles. So bringing our hands just in front of us, again just finding your stretch wherever that may be. Really kind of pushing down with your knees, opening up the hips, firing up those muscles all around the back of our hips, the back of our legs. And then let's take a little sway from side to side. Again, just pausing wherever you need to. If there's a certain little area that feels particularly tight or tense, just rest there, breathe into the tension. Trying to keep both sit bones really grounded here, so we don't want to be kind of lifting up that outer sit bone as we twist round. So almost like pushing more into the outer sit bone when you come into your twist. Finding your way back to center, lifting yourself up. We'll cross our legs the other way. Always good to even ourselves out. Toes pointing forward, knees pushing down, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest. It might feel very different this side, it might feel slightly easier, it might feel super tense. So just knowing your limit. And then we'll have a little walk from side to side. Staying in the middle if that's better for you. Okay, good. Coming back to center, bringing ourselves back up and just stretching our legs out, giving them a little bit of a shake. We'll come through to all fours. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. I know I bang on about alignment a lot, but it's so important to get it right. So just making sure our knees are hip distance apart, toes pointing backwards, nice wide hands, really spreading your fingers out. And let's engage our core. So let's pull the belly button back towards the spine, lengthen out through the tailbone, lengthen the back of the neck, pushing up through the hands, through the arms, so kind of rounding the back of the shoulders. So nice, strong, neutral spine. Let's go into our cat-cows. So as we inhale, take our gaze forward, belly dips down. Exhale, spine curves up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, coming back through our happy cow. Exhaling, angry cat. Taking some more moves in your own time, just warming up your spine, noticing how it is feeling. Trying to keep our core active through this pose as well. So really trying to keep a tension around your core area. In every move, really, we can keep our core engaged. It's really, really good to strengthen as much as you can. Okay, taking a couple more rounds, then we will meet in our neutral spine. Okay, so taking our left leg first, keeping the leg bent, we're just going to lift the leg up off the mat. So we want the sole of our foot kind of pointing up towards the ceiling. Trying to keep our hips even here, so watch that left hip doesn't really rise up. You just want to use the muscles, the glute muscles, the backs of the hamstrings, and then we're just going to pulse that leg just up towards the ceiling. So just little pulsing movements. Keeping your core strong, your hips level, even weight through your hands. Okay, now keeping that leg bent, we're going to bring it out to the side. And then lower the knee just so it touches the inside of your right knee and then back out to the side. So closing down, then opening back up. Again, trying to keep your weight even on your hands here. So just watch you're not really bending into that right elbow. No, it's hard. Trying to keep your hips level. Good, okay. Bringing the left knee down. Same on the right hand side. So engaging the core, firming up your torso, then slowly lifting up that right leg. Just up to hip height. Foot, kind of sole of the foot, level with the ceiling. And then we'll pulse. So just little gentle pulses. Watch you're not collapsing into your lower back here. So strong through that core, hips level, even weight through your hands. Okay, now bringing the leg out to the side, keeping the leg bent. And then closing down, just touching the inside of the left knee. Opening back up again, and down, and up. Keep that going. Watching you're not bending into your left elbow, which I'm doing. Weight even through the hands, as much as you can. Good, one more, and then lowering that leg down. Okay. Stretching our left leg out behind us. So finding a nice opening through the back of the ankle, the calf, the back of the knee. And then we'll stretch out our right hand. Let's lift up left leg, right hand, reaching out through the right fingertips, out through the left heel. Again, trying to keep our weight even here, not collapsing into that lower back. Good, okay, lower everything back down to the mat. Right leg stretches out, tucking the toe under. So really trying to get an openness through the back of the leg. And then left fingertips, reach out in front of us, slowly lift left fingertips, right leg. Strong through the core, finding your balance, pushing out through that back heel, reaching out through the fingertips. And then lowering everything back down to the mat. Good. Okay, tucking both toes under, making sure our feet are hip distance apart. We're just going to push our weight back onto our heels. So feeling a little stretch through the foot. We're not going to come into the full foot stretch today. We're just opening up the soles of the feet. It's really important to stretch the feet as well as the rest of the body, especially when we're doing balances and relying on just one foot. Always good to have a good base. Okay, then we're going to lift our knees up, lift our hips up, coming up into our first downward dog. Let's just paddle the legs out. Just taking your time, pushing down through your hands, straightening your arms. So really strong through the upper body here. And finding some stillness, melting the heels down towards the earth. Don't worry if the knees are bent, especially at the beginning of the practice, we're still warming up. And then we're going to bring our weight forward into our plank position. Option here to come down to a half plank, lower the knees down, that's absolutely fine. And then lowering down to the mat, squeezing the elbows in, untucking the toes, lifting up into a little baby cobra, exhaling down. Pushing back up, let's tuck the toes under again, through our all fours, push with the hands, let's find our little foot stretch. And then slowly lifting the hips up, back into our downward facing dog. Relaxing the head here, so let the head just hang heavy, maybe give it a little shake, a little nod. And then again, moving forward through our plank. Option to lower the knees here. And then lowering down to the mat, squeezing those elbows in, inhaling into our back bend. Exhaling through hands and knees, tucking the toes under, little foot stretch, and then lifting up into our downward dog. Looking forward, let's walk our way up to the front of the mat. Just walking all a nice big step. Hanging into our ragdoll, so just holding on to opposite elbows. And we can just take a nice sway from side to side. And really kind of getting into the hips here. So take a really big bend in the knees. And you can maybe have a little stretch across the lower back as well. Releasing the hands down to the floor. Uncurling all the way up to standing. Take a nice big inhale when we're there, reaching the arms up to the ceiling. Taking our side stretches. So we'll go over to the right first. Back up to center, over to the left. Back up to center. This time we'll bring our right arm behind us. We can just follow those right fingertips with our gaze all the way down to the mat. Bringing the arm all the way back up to center, left side. So a little kind of twisty back bend here. All the way back up. Forward fold, exhale all the way down. Maybe you want to try and straighten the legs a little here to find an opening across the back of the legs. Or we can bend the knees, we can have support for our hands. Coming into forward folds. Always your choice as to kind of what part of the body you can stretch at that time. Okay, again, uncurling all the way up to standing. Nice and slowly, inhaling, arms up to the sky. Exhaling down into our side stretch. Inhaling back up to center. Exhaling down the other side. Inhaling back to center. Right arm comes behind and down. And then back up to center. Left arm. Back up to center. And forward fold. Okay, let's take our halfway lift. So reaching forward with the crown of our head, flattening our back, so trying to find that length from the tailbone all the way up through the back of the neck, out of the crown of the head. Hands come down to the mat, taking a step back with our left leg. Lowering the back knee down, coming into our low lunge, sweeping the arms up. Just wiggling that foot, making sure that that knee is directly over that ankle, so just moving the foot if you need to. And we'll come into our twist, so bringing our right arm back, left arm forward. And reaching up and over with our left hand. So right fingertips point down towards the mat, left fingertips up and over. And then bringing the left hand down beside the right foot, right fingertips up towards the sky. Really reaching up through those right fingertips, so spreading the fingers, engaging through the arm. And then bringing the right hand inside our right leg, wiggling the right foot out to the edge of your mat, and your toes want to point out at an angle, so a little diagonal there, coming into our low lizard. So sinking the hips down here. If you need a little bit of support for your hands, then you can use books or blocks, anything you have. If you need to lift your hands up further towards you. Then we're going to tuck that back toe under, lift up that back knee, try and straighten out that back leg, so coming into our high lizard. Then coming back into our twist, so reaching back up with our right fingertips, trying to keep that back leg strong and straight, really pushing out through the back heel. And then as we bring the right hand down, let's wiggle that front foot back between our hands, stepping back into our plank position, lowering down to the mat through our half plank. Remember, that's absolutely fine. Inhaling, back bend. Exhaling, downward dog. And then walking or stepping up to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Hands to the mat, other side. So stepping back with our right foot, lowering the back knee down, sweeping the arms up, low lunge. Remember to drop the shoulders away from the ears. Whenever we're reaching up, pull the shoulders down. Coming into our twist, so left arm back, right arm forward. And then reversing, so just point the left fingertips down towards the mat, right fingertips up and over, strong through the legs here. And then right hand comes down, left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Bringing the left hand down inside that left foot, wiggling the left foot out, pointing the toes out at a diagonal, finding your low lizard. And then tucking that back toe under. Let's lift that back knee up, strong through that back leg. If that is a little bit too much for you, you can leave that back knee lowered. That's absolutely fine. And then we can all lift up our left fingertips up towards the sky, back knee lowered or raised, yogi's choice. Bringing the left hand down, wiggling that left foot back in front, back in the middle, sorry. Stepping forward with the back foot. Uncurling our way all the way up to standing. Reaching up to the sky, inhaling, bringing the hands to prayer into our Tadasana. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths here, rolling the shoulders back and down, tucking the tailbone in. Wiggling our feet together, legs together, really squeeze the legs together. Coming down into our squat, our Utkatasana. Reaching the hands out in front, lowering the hips down, keeping that tailbone tucked. And just watching your knees don't come over your toes. So we want to keep the weight back in our heels. Strong through the legs. We'll need the strength to come into our figure four balance later. Okay, lifting up our left foot. We're going to take a big step back with our left leg. Good. Coming into our high lunge. Reaching the hands up towards the ceiling. Same sequence this side. So coming into our twist, right arm back, left arm forward. If you ever need to lower that back leg, please do so. Reaching up and over, left fingertips up towards the sky, right fingertips towards the mat. And then bringing the left hand down to the mat, right fingertips up to the sky. Bringing the right hand down, inside that right leg, finding our high lizard again, so wiggling out that right foot. And then we're going to step that right foot back to our plank position, holding our plank. Okay, we're going to hover our left foot off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Right foot hovering it off the floor. 3, 2, 1. Good. Lowering down to the mat. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhaling, back bend. Exhaling, downward dog. Melting the heels down towards the mat. Just checking our heels are tucked behind our toes. So feet pointing forward, pushing down through the hands. Looking forward, walking up to the front of the mat. We'll come straight back into our Utkatasana, so feet together, squeezing the legs together into our squat. Strong through those legs, shaking is good. And slowly lifting up the right foot, taking a nice big step back, leap of faith, reaching up with the hands, high lunge. Coming into our twist, left arm back, right arm forward. Reversing, so right fingertips to the sky, left fingertips down to the floor. And then bringing the right hand down. Left fingertips up to the sky, nice straight arms, straight line through the arms. And then bringing those left hand inside the left foot, finding our high lizard. And then again, sweeping that left foot back, coming into our plank. Hovering the right foot off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Left foot. 3, 2, 1. Good. Lowering down to the mat. Inhaling. Back bend. Exhaling. Downward facing dog. Paddling out the legs if you need to. Keeping those fingers nice and widely spread. Okay, everyone lifting up their right leg. Let's take a big step forward, coming into our high lunge. So just grab that ankle, pull it forward if you need to. High lunge straight into our warrior two. So pivoting on that back foot, opening up the hips here. So really squeezing the glutes together, feeling that opening. Right knee wants to come over the right foot and powering back down through that back leg. Reverse the warrior, right hand up and over, left hand can come to the thigh or the hip. into our side angle. So right knee to right elbow, reaching up and away with your left fingertips. Okay, bit of core, everyone with their right hand, lifting your right hand up to meet your left, and then slowly pushing up through that front leg, arms up to the ceiling, straightening that front leg. Let's turn the toes so the feet are parallel, bring the hands down to the hips, coming into our prasarita, wide-legged forward fold. Hinging from the hips, straightening up the legs, straightening up the thighs. Bringing the hands down to the floor or to some support or a chair, a sofa. If you need to move just to have that support, then please do so. Really trying to keep your thighs really strong here. So really engaging the thighs, pushing down through the feet. If you can go a little lower, find a bit more space. And then slowly bring yourself back up, hands to the hips. A nice big inhale, coming up to standing. We're just going to heel toe the feet in towards each other just a little bit. Have our toes pointing out at a diagonal, like we did for our lizard stretch, coming into our goddess squat. So as we come down, we want our knees to try and track over our feet. Bring our hands into our prayer position. Tuck the tailbone under, trying to keep our spine tall here. Dropping the shoulders back and down. Nice deep breaths, shaking is good. And slowly let's bring ourselves all the way up, straightening out the legs, reaching up to the sky. And then we'll bend into that right leg, bring the hands down, cartwheel around, take a vinyasa, so step back to plank, lowering down. Inhaling back bend and exhaling downward dog. Left side, so we're going to lift up the left foot, nice big step forward, making our way into our high lunge, finding our balance, and then straight into our warrior two. Always making sure that back foot is parallel. Front toes pointing forward, knee over front foot. Hands at shoulder height. Reaching out through the fingertips, shoulders away from the ears. Reverse our warrior. And then into our side angle, reaching up and away with your right fingertips, keeping the hips nice and low. And then can we lift that left arm up like we're holding a big beach ball? Slowly straighten up that front leg, reaching up to the sky, turning those left toes in. I'm just going to turn and face you. And then back into our forward fold. Hinging from the hips, firming up the thighs. Is there a little bit more space coming into it for the second time? Really lifting up the kneecaps towards the hips, watching our weight isn't rocking forward or back. So trying to find that center point with our feet. Remembering to breathe, slow, steady breathing. Okay, bringing your hands to your hips. Nice big inhale, back up to standing, wiggling the feet a little bit together again, coming back into our goddess squat. Knees over toes, coming into our prayer position. Tall spine, reaching up through the crown of your head. Okay, this time we're just going to lift the left heel up off the floor, lower back down, right heel up, lower back down, left heel, down, right heel, down. Can we do both heels? Shaky legs. Strong through the legs. Lowering the heels back down, straightening up the legs, reaching up to the sky. And then let's cartwheel over that front foot. Take a vinyasa, so step back to plank. Lower down to the mat, slow and controlled. Inhale, up to your back bend. And exhaling down through hands and knees or straight into downward dog. Okay, this time we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet. So we're going to arrive at the back of the mat. Take a nice big inhale, coming up to standing, reaching up to the sky. And then exhaling down. Let's bring our feet together. Squeeze our legs together. Coming back into our Utkatasana, but we can leave our hands in our prayer position. So we're going to come into our standing figure 4 stretch now with our nice strong legs, strong core. So we'll take our weight in our left foot first of all, lifting up our right foot, crossing that ankle over our left knee, trying to keep that the standing leg bent. And then slowly lowering down. Again, we want to feel like we're pushing down with the kind of outside of that right knee, keeping that right foot flexed. You might be able to bring yourself all the way down so your elbows kind of rest on your leg. Maybe not. Maybe just coming down a little bit is good for you, but just have a little play around. Really strong through that standing leg. If you wobble, if you fall, that's absolutely fine. Slowly bringing yourself up out of it. Let's straighten up that right leg, point out in front, reaching the hands up towards the sky. And then back. Bringing the legs together again. Squeezing the legs together, bringing the hands down into your prayer position. Finding your squat. And then other side. So lifting up your left leg, crossing it over your right thigh, flexing back that left toe, opening this hip, so really pushing down with that left thigh. And then just finding your stretch. You might be able to come a bit further on this side, you might not. Just have a little bit of a play. Wobbles are fine. Enjoy them. Okay, when you're ready, slowly straightening up that standing leg. Let's reach up to the ceiling. Straighten out the left leg in front of us. And then bringing the left leg down. Hands come to prayer. Let's bend all the way down this time, coming down onto the mat, into our little ball. Ooh, bringing our hands down in front of us. Knees down. And then let's just swing our legs out in front. Well done, everyone. Okay, legs out in front. Again, straight or bent, completely up to you, but let's make the feet active. So toes coming back towards the knees. As we reach up to the sky, really find that length through the spine, length through the side body, folding from the hips. Finding your forward fold. So your hands might just come to your shins, your calves, the floor. If you have a belt or something to put around your feet, it could be quite useful to hold on to in a forward fold. And then, yeah, play around with bending your knees, straightening your legs, just finding how the stretch works for you. So we want to find a stretch maybe down the backs of our legs, into the back of our hips, and even into our lower back. When we are there, taking some nice deep breaths. Really letting go with your exhales, so releasing any tension, any tightness. Finding the space with your inhales, softening with your exhales. Okay, so you're bringing yourself back to upright. We're going to bend up the left knee, the left foot, sorry. That doesn't really matter which side you do first, but if you're bending up the left foot, you want it kind of pressing against your right inner thigh, and just letting that knee kind of just drop to the side. And we're going to fold over the right foot. So again, we're going to reach up, fold over. And as we fold, again, I want you to feel like there's a pressure on the bottom of that right knee, on the underside of that knee. We push down with that knee as we fold forward. This might just kind of stretch into your lower back a little bit more, into your hip. Really push down with that left knee, straighten the right leg if you can. And then slowly bring yourselves up. Swapping round, so stretching out the left leg, bending up the right. Just try and get that foot as close in as you can. Push down with that right knee, flex those left toes back towards you, reaching up, finding your length in your spine, and then folding over your front foot. Nice, slow, steady breathing here. Really feeling into your body. Slowly bringing yourself back up. Giving your legs a little bit of a shake if you need. We are going to come down to lying. So just shiggle yourself forward on your mat if you need to. And then reaching out with your hands, finding our curve in our spine, lowering down as slowly as we can. Nice and slowly, using that core all the way down. Good. Okay, just sliding our feet up so our legs are slightly bent. Bringing our feet nice and wide as the mat. We're just going to windscreen wiper our knees from side to side. And then next time our knees drop to the right, let's pause on the right. And then we can bring our right foot up to the kind of outer edge of our left knee and just rest the foot there. And then reach up behind us with our left hand. So we're stretching out the whole left side of the body. If it's too intense to have your foot on your knee, then please just take that foot back to the floor. But this can be quite a nice stretch through the hip, through the ribs, if it feels okay. Okay, bringing your left hand down, releasing your right foot from the knee, right foot back to the edge of the mat, and over to the left we go. So just letting the knees just pause over to the left hand side. A little bit extra, we can place the left foot just on the outer edge of that right knee. And don't push, just let the weight of the foot just kind of guide the knee down. And then we can reach up and overhead with our right hand. Really breathing into the side body here. Really releasing with your exhales. You can even like sigh out the exhales, can help to release. Okay, bringing our right hand down, releasing that left foot from the knee, bringing the knees back up to center. We'll squeeze the knees into the chest. And let's take a happy baby. So bringing the arms inside our knees to the outside of our feet. And then bring the soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling, pulling the knees back into the armpits. And let's try and keep our spines flat on the floor here. So if the spine's lifting, then maybe don't lift the feet so high. And then we can have a little bit of a play around, completely up to you. People get all sorts of different stretches out of this position. So just have a little bit of a play, stretching out all those muscles in the legs we've been working so hard. You can always hold on to your ankles or shins here as well. Remember, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Bringing our feet down to the mat, we'll come back into our bridges. So bringing the feet flat to the floor, hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. Let's slowly peel the hips up off the mat. Peeling the spine up off the mat, pushing down through the feet. And then slowly lowering down. inch by inch, as slowly as we can. You know the score by now. Inhaling up, peeling up off the mat, all the way up to your shoulders. And exhaling down. Again, don't worry too much if you're breathing a little bit quicker. That's absolutely fine, but just keeping it slow and steady. Peeling up off the mat. And lowering back down. Taking a couple more rounds, maybe 2 or 3 more rounds, just in your own time. Trying to follow your own breath, slowing it right down if you can. Good. When your hips meet the mat again, just resting them there. And we'll just come back into our figure 4 stretches. So just slowly bringing the right ankle over the left knee. Let's bring up that left thigh towards us, just seeing how the muscles are feeling compared to the beginning of the class. Pulling our toes back towards our knees. If you want a little bit of an extra stretch, we can bring that left leg straight so you can get a stretch through that left hamstring as well. And then lowering that left leg if you have it raised. Bringing your left foot back down to the mat. Right foot comes to the mat. Same on the other side. So just crossing that left ankle over. Having a nice stretch out this time. Raising up that left leg if you want to, completely optional. Keeping both feet active. And then lowering back down. Left foot comes down to the mat and we'll come into our Shavasana. So stretching out your legs towards the end of the mat, bringing our hands either on your belly or nice and wide, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Just tucking the shoulder blades a little bit closer together, opening up the chest. Relaxing all around your lower back area. I should say actually in Shavasana, if it is more comfortable for you to have your knees, if you have got any lower back niggles, you want to have your knees bent in, then that's absolutely fine. It's just quite nice sometimes to straighten out the legs after all the work they've been doing. But if it does niggle your lower back, then please, by all means, just bend up the knees. Because in Shavasana we want to be fully relaxed, fully rested. It is still a kind of active pose. So we still want to keep our attention on our bodies. Even though we are relaxing, we want to come into quite a deep relaxation here. So just noticing your breath first of all. Using your exhales to really sink your body down, really let your body feel heavy. As you inhale, you feel a certain kind of lift, a little bit of energy, and then again with your exhales, softening down. So really using our exhales in this pose. And then keeping our thoughts, keeping our attention on our body, on our breathing, on you. This is your time. Nowhere else to be. So just noticing if any tension has crept up in any part of your body, and then kind of bringing your awareness there, trying to release the tension, using your exhales to soften. So down, let's start at our feet, just noticing if our feet are fully relaxed. Releasing our calves, our thighs, our glutes, all around your hips, your lower back. Around your abdomen, all that kind of core area, we often hold on to tension there. So fully releasing all around your belly. the muscles up your spine, into your shoulders. Another area of tension up the back of your neck. All down your arms, just letting your arms feel heavy. And fingertips just curling in. And lastly, just around your neck into your head, just checking there's no tension around the neck. Letting your head fully sink down into the mat. Are you holding any tension between your eyebrows, around your eyes? Just let it soften. Relax that forehead, relax the jaw, the cheeks. Letting your whole body soften and melt towards the floor. And we'll slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Taking some slightly deeper breaths. And then making our way bit by bit into our pencil stretch. So pointing out through the feet, stretching up through the arms, through the hands, and then bringing the knees into the chest or just bending the knees up. Taking a little rock and roll if you need to. And then coming to rest on your side, left or right, it doesn't really matter. And just pausing here. Nice deep cleansing breaths here, so nice full inhales and long exhales. And then slowly pushing up with your hands, bringing yourself back to your seated position. Trying to keep your eyes closed if you can. Finding our nice tall spine, grounding down through our sit bones. Lengthening up through the spine, reaching up through the crown of the head, finding that length in the back of your neck. Softening the face, softening the forehead. Softening around the jaw, the lips. Let's roll the shoulders up, back and down. And then bring our hands together into our prayer position. Blinking open the eyes. Namaste.